All right. So, I'm going to let Movie&GameLover98 know that I just sent him the link to part 4. All right. So, all right.
Little Clanny Clemerton. Put that on this thing. So.
So, this part is part 4 of the Fanmade Columbia TriStar releases of Hey Arnold, which, for part 3 we took a look at volumes 11 through 15 of the compilation collection, and the DVD of Stuck in a Tree as well for part 3. Now we're getting closer to covering through all of them. So for part 4, for part 4 we only have 3 DVD releases from 2002, 1 from 2003, 1 from 2004, 6 from 2005, and 2 from 2006. And so yeah. Just send the link one more time just in case, but we're still. All right, he's coming. So. Yeah. All right. And all right. Well, look.
Hello.
So, for part
Yep.
3, we looked at the remainder of the 2001 releases from School Days all the way up to Arnold's
Yep.
Travel Adventures. Now, for part 4, we're getting close to finishing, but because we have 3 releases from 2002, 1 from 2003, 1 from 2004, 6 from 2005, and 2 from 2006.
Yeah.
So now we're going to start talking about the very first Hey Arnold DVD release from 2002, and that is Harold versus Patty, released on July 30th, 2002.
I think just about a week after Best of Percy came out on DVD, along with Cranky Bugs and Racist Rescues and Runaways.
Oh, and it was also a week after Artisan released the Clifford the Big Red Dog VHS releases, Clifford's Big Halloween and Go T-Bone, respectively.
And I'm pretty sure 2 days after your second birthday.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Harold vs. Patty would also include a bonus episode of Dragon Tales from Sesame Workshop.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's got 5 Hey Arnold episodes, and they are Harold vs. Patty, Rich Guy, April Fool's Day, Gerald's Game, and Fishing Trip. And it also includes the 2 bonus Dragon Tales episodes, and they are the Season 1 episodes, Emmy's Dream House, and Dragon Sales, even though the DVD's from 2002.
Yeah. Yeah, and now I'll do my thoughts on Emmy's Dream House and Dragon Sales. I think in both those episodes, Ord was sounding more like a teenager, I think. I think so. Well, yeah, yes, Emmy's Dream House, they should have put that as the 3rd episode where they meet Sid Sycamore. Kind of like I said, if Hit Entertainment could have put Edward Strikes Out and topped off Thomas earlier in Season 10, and then use him in Big Strong Henry in Season 10. But yeah, about Emmy's Dream House, they want to use Sid's treehouse as like a dream thing because there's a sticky gooberry or just something.
Goo cloud.
Yeah, and Cassie explains it doesn't rub off like paint.
Or it doesn't run off like rainwater.
Or, yeah, like rain. Like, yeah, that. And she says, it sticks.
Oh, and what are your thoughts on this one scene? He's like, when Zach is like, it's gonna cave in on us! We're gonna be dragon pancakes!
But then the solution came up and they basically used the paracel to basically block the stuff from falling onto them. And it worked out very well.
Not to mention, Cassie cries in that episode after Emmy rearranges the bookshelf, and Cassie didn't like that.
She basically went, my books!
And then she shrinks. She does the shrinking effect when she cries in that scene as well.
Yeah. And then also, like, Zach and Wheezy get mad at Emmy because...
And Ord also gets mad at Emmy as well.
Actually, I think another funny one is like when Wheezy says, actually, I think the toenails were kind of pretty. And then they still get mad at her saying, you're not being nice, Emmy.
And then Emmy shouts back, I was just trying to make the treehouse better, that's all!
Well, but then all of a sudden she wants her friends to come back and then they can get what they want. And she says, definitely.
What if there was a sequel to this episode where it involved Max doing things the way he wanted?
Well, that could be a much better one because, that's the same thing. Like, how in Wild Time, yes, he messes up. Like, he first burped in Wild Time and then he kept vrooming and blowing raspberries at when Ord was making a dragon statue. But anyways, yeah, it could be a cool scene.
What if in one scene Max is like, my CD collection!
Well, I don't know if Ord uses CDs, but, well, in the fan-made sequel, but yeah. And then, yes, they get the parasol used as a protective thing to keep the, cloud.
And what if it's like this, what if instead of the goo cloud, this time it's a big snowstorm covering everything that they have to get inside before the snowstorm comes?
Well, that'd be kind of interesting because, we never had something like that before.
And what if Zach was the one that was warning Max about the big snowstorm? Like, we ain't gotta get out of here before the snowstorm comes.
Yeah, that would be interesting. And yes, this has been the first episode of Dragon Tales where they meet Sid Sycamore. Because, yeah, and now on to Dragon Sales, where they want to find a special rainbow crystal for Cassie's collection. And, yeah, Ord was sounding like a teenager in this one. Like in this episode where he basically... where he goes, I ruined everything. Anyway.
And, what about when Zach makes that screaming noise as they're about to leave and as they're about to enter into the waterfall? He's basically
kind of funny if you ask me.
That's actually the same voice clip they later used in the episode Zack and the Beanstalk when Mungus the Giant appeared.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I kind of find it interesting. But yeah, also another one when Ord tries to think he can do it this time, when he tried to get the boat moving this time, he said, I did it. I guess I didn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, I think the ending when they say the rhyme to go back home, it's nighttime when they get back home, Emmy and Max in Dragon Sails. And Max says the final line, all aboard, just like they say in
Believe it or not, that same clip of it is actually shown in a Dragon Tales trailer from 1999, shown on some Columbia TriStar VHS releases, like The First Snow of Winter and The Wind in the Willows.
It's also on one of the versions of Thomas and the Magic Railroad on VHS, which also contains the different version of the Stuart Little on VHS and DVD trailer, and also added the additional preview Adventures of Elmo and Grouchland on video and DVD trailer.
What if they included a Sesame Street video and audio collection promo from Sony Wonder on some copies of Thomas and Magic Railroad, as you know, because Sony Wonder was folded into Sony Pictures Home Entertainment later on.
That'd be kind of interesting.
Or what if there was like a crossover, like a sequel to Thomas and the Magic Railroad called Thomas Goes to Sesame Street?
That'd be kind of interesting, because how would Thomas get to Sesame Street from Sodor? Because he had to go, because Sesame Street is like a far off part of one of the places across the world, and Thomas is like far across, part close to Isle of Man and the mainland. I guess by ship, because I don't think trains can travel in a plane.
Anyway, at the beginning of the DVD of Harold versus Patty, it would have the 2001 Columbia TriStar Home Entertainment logo. Then, of course, with the Tolling Bells DVD music, of course, DVD menu, FBI warning, red warning and attention screens, and then, of course, the Season 5 funding, and then the Libby's. And then, of course, the Kellogg's Frosted Flakes Beach ad, the Season 5 funding continued. This time, it is the later Season 5 funding with the red words, Ready to Learn Television Cooperative Agreement, that is also shown on some shows like Seasons 33 to 35 of Sesame Street, along with Reading Rainbow, Season 2 of Clifford the Big Red Dog, along with Clifford's Puppy Days.
Yeah, I remember Clifford's Puppy Days as a kid. Well, anyway, back to how this fan-made release opens up.
And then, of course... And this time, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting logo does say a private corporation funded by the American people, just like on those ad-fermenting shows, except Reading Rainbow does not have the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, but Dragon Tales does.
Yeah, I found that interesting. Like, I'm trying to remember what...
it does have Corporation for Public Broadcasting with a different background for Reading Rainbow.
Yeah, I know Reading Rainbow from my childhood, because these guys show a book that they're gonna give out to people around the world. And
anyway, after the funding, it's got the title sequence and the start of the episode Harold versus Pat. Now the closing would have the last few seconds of the episode Fishing Trip, and then the online bumper from 2000 to 2004, the end credits, Season 5 funding, Kellogg's Fruit Loops Jungle advertisement, Season 5 funding continued, then the Columbia TriStar television logo, and then the 2002 PBS Kids Fishbowl ident, where Dash the boy looks at a goldfish in the fishbowl, then he comes close to the fishbowl and imagines himself as an orange goldfish, and then he gets eaten by Dot.
Yeah.
By the way, This would be the first Hey Arnold DVD release to use that variant.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the Dragon Tales portion would have the Fruit Loops ad, and in the Season 1 funding of Dragon Tales, the title sequence in the start of the episode, Emmy's Dream House. Now, the closing to the Dragon Tales portion would have the last few seconds of the episode, Dragon Sales, and then the online bumper from Season 1. Then the end credits, they still play very fast, but it uses the updated mentioning of saying Sesame Workshop, despite the credits going fast because it's a later release. Then it has the Sesame Workshop green roof and blue house logo fully animated. Then the Columbia TriStar television logo, this Frosted Flakes Community Center ad from 2002 that is also shown at the end of Saga with the Chinese Siamese Cat VHS releases like Feline Frenzy and Cat Nights, Lights and Delights. And then, of course, the Season 1 funding continued. And then the PBS Kids ad end with Dash the Boy thinking about something. And then we go to the DVD menu.
That's a cool one.
So yeah, the fishbowl logo used on Hey Arnold and the Hey Arnold portion is, of course, the one that fades in and out and says pbskids.org, just like on Season 7 and 8 of Arthur, along with Arthur, It's Only Rock and Roll.
Yeah.
All right. Then we go into Volume 28, which is called Married.
Married?
With the release date being December 17th of 2002.
I think... that'd be the same date as one of the Lord of the Rings movies came out.
Yeah.
Because, well, yeah, of course that would also be a few months after the Thomas and Friends home media release. Salty Secret came out on VHS and DVD, because it was the only Season 6 release to be distributed by Ghislaine and Anchor Bay.
And it's also a few months before Percy's Chocolate Crunch was released on DVD and VHS, and a few months before Thomas and his Friends Help Out got its very first DVD release.
Well, yeah, but I thought it was going to be February 2003 for Percy's Chocolate Crunch on DVD and VHS, but for Thomas's Friends Help Out being on DVD for the first time. So February 2003, but I think that's just a month after Dragon Tales Easiest 1, 2, 3 came out on VHS and DVD.
All right. Now, the episodes for this DVD are Married, On the Lam, Family Man, The Racing Mule, Curly's Girl, and The Journal. This would also include the 2 bonus Dragon Tales episodes, and this time they are the Season 1 episodes, Snow Dragons, and The Fury is out on this one.
Oh, yeah. Snow Dragons and The Fury is out on this one. Well, first, about Snow Dragons, this is the first instance where I think it's the first time it's really snowy in Dragon Tales, if I'm not mistaken, because I'm pretty sure that's correct. Because
I think this is the first appearance of Snowy Summit.
I think so. And yeah, I think like before the lines when Max and Ord start crying because they're lost. But well, first before that happens, like there's the Thomas the Tank Engine parody of this where Emmy asks Quetzal, "Where's Cassie?" "Oh, I'm afraid Cassie can't come. She's getting over a cold."
What if there was a sequel to this episode that took place during Cassie's point of view and about like called Get Well Cassie back in Season 4?
That'd be kind of interesting because I know that because Yeah. But basically, yeah, after they get too far away from Quetzal and Quetzal wonders where they are and they start to get lost. I think this one part when Ord's tummy growls, like I told you about the compilation of their tummy growling, when he goes, "Max, we better find Quetzal soon. I'm starving. Breakfast was so long ago, I couldn't remember a thing." And well, yeah, and of course they get to the part where they got stuck. Well, Snow got on Ord's wings and his feet and his nose, and they fell down to the ground.
Basically he lets out a big cry, just like in the Forest of Darkness. Ord does. He goes, I miss my mommy and daddy too.
Well, actually, you know, when Max tells Ord to when he's scared and you don't want to get lost, I think when he sings these lyrics, when you're stuck and don't. How do you know that song? Isn't that the parody of
when
Mary
you're
Had a
scared
Little?
that you are lost, sing a song, sing a song. When you're scared that you are lost, sing this silly song.
Isn't that the parody of Mary Had a Little Lamb? Not to be confused with Toby Had a Little Lamb from season 6
Yes.
of Thomas.
Well,
Okay.
Not to mention, I believe Ord still had tears in his eyes when Max sang when you're scared that you are lost, but then the tears disappeared when he started laughing.
Well, yeah, and of course I like that one instant scene, like where it had a very cool thing of a young little Quetzal. Basically, that's kind of like if you watch the season 16 episode, "Happy Birthday, Sir" of Thomas from the CGI era, aka the second to last episode of the Nitrogen era. It showed a young and skinny Sir Topham had, like when he had hair. Well, if you watch that flashback scene, you know what I'm talking about. This one, it looked even cuter. The one with the really little Quetzal.
And
well, yeah, and now onto the Furies out on this one, which I know you told me I think is Mateo, even though you told me on one of the streams you say it's a Dragon Trash, all because of Max getting angry saying he can't catch anyone Dragon Tag.
Yeah.
I think Ord was sounding like a teenager in that episode. But, and you know, like when
I noticed the cell animation kind of looked a bit more rough in that episode compared to other episodes.
Yeah, and of course, like, can I tell you when the Fury is like as like a creature that likes to see someone angry? Him letting off steam like a train. It's like a train whistle. It's like blowing a train whistle really hard. Like, you know, when he exclaims, "I'll be back," and he lets out the train whistle sound. And like when Max asks Quetzal, "How can I calm down? When I get mad, I get so mad."
What if there was a sequel to that episode that this time takes place during Emmy's point of view and when the Fury returns, except this happens when Emmy gets mad and then Max tells him, remember how I felt? Maybe you should learn to count backwards like I did when I got mad.
Like basically when she tells Max in the original version of the Furies out on this one, she says, "Count backwards, Max. That's what Dad says to me when I get mad at you."
And then
I don't.
And what happens in the sequel to that episode then?
Well, I would say would Max tell Emmy to calm down? And
yeah, and then Emmy is like, "That's not fair. I'm not good at this tag game."
Is it the same they play Dragon Tag in the original version?
Actually, you know what? Maybe it's a different sport. You know, that's not good. I'm not good at dragon football.
And like the Fury comes back.
Yeah.
And yes, of course, like what would be the two dragons sitting next to Emmy when she tries to ask Quetzal, how can she calm down when she gets mad? She gets so mad. What would be this different one? Like, you know, when Cassie and Ord were next to Max, wouldn't it switch it up and make it go Cassie and Zack and Wheezy, or just make Cassie on the other side of Emmy, but put Ord still?
Well, yeah. And what if the Fury had a different voice in the sequel episode? This time being voiced by Jason Mikas, the guy who does the voice of Zack in the sequel.
What he could basically do is not let out a big blow off like you can hear. It's like a sound of a train whistle. It's like that's like almost like if you watch these kinds of episodes of SpongeBob with Mr. Krabs getting angry and he lets off steam and that sounds like a train whistle when he gets.
What about when episodes when Squidward gets mad that veins start going in his head? He's like, "Get out!"
Yeah. Well, anyway, yeah. Back to the sequel or a made version of the Furies out on this one, but this time Emmy is bad at football.
Dragon football.
Dragon football, yeah. Not real life football. That's different from real life. It's different from Dragon football compared to real life football, because I've never played football as a kid. Well, anyway, yeah, she's like, who would be the dragons next to Emmy when she tries to
This time
ask
it's
us?
just Zach and Wheezy being next to them. It's not Ord and Cassie, but this time it's just one character that's telling them. But
And like,
but
what?
for some reason, this is one of the episodes where Ord is absent in season 4, but Cassie and Zach and Wheezy appear.
Oh yes, we could actually finally have an episode with just Ord absent, if they could make a 4th season. And of course, Zach and Wheezy tell Emmy, "Don't worry, Emmy. We'll find you a ways to calm down."
Or what if there was one episode from season 4 where it just had Wheezy absent, but Zach, Ord, and Cassie were present?
Well, they had to do something like they did it, like I said, at the episode Not Separated at Birth. Like, if you see if they made a family one where just Zach is in the episode, and they ask, "Where's Wheezy?"
And then maybe he's like, "Oh, I'm afraid Wheezy's got the flu."
We had to basically split ourselves up using that same spell we did before.
But this time we needed to because I wouldn't want to catch it from her. Ugh.
Ugh, and then I had to take yucky medicine. Ugh, I don't like medicine.
Yeah, anyway.
Yep.
So at the beginning of this DVD of Married, it would have the 2001 Columbia TriStar Home Entertainment logo with the Tolling Bells DVD music, and then the DVD menu, FBI warning, red warning, and attention screens. Season 5 funding, Kellogg's Frosted Flakes speech ad. Season 5 funding continued. Title sequence in the start of the episode Married. And the closing to the Hey Arnold portion would have the last few seconds of the episode, the journal, and then the online local library bumper from 2000 to 2004, the end credits, season 5 funding, Kellogg's Fruit Loops, Jungle advertisement, season 5 funding continued, then the Columbia TriStar television logo, and then the 2002 PBS Kids snow globe ident this time, where Dash ice skates in an ice rink, and then he feels the ground shake, and then he stops ice skating, and then the camera zooms out to reveal that he is inside a snow globe, which is, of course, held by Dr. Girl. And you know what I find pretty weird about the snow globe ident?
What is it?
Dot is not in her regular lime green color that she usually is. She's instead a powdery bluish gray color in the snow globe ident. That's
what I found odd, because I saw that ident so many times. Well, the snow globe one at that.
And like the fishbowl ident, the snow globe ident would also fade in and out as well.
Yeah, that's what I noticed too.
Yeah, and then of course the Dragon Tales portion would have the Fruit Loops Jungle ad, the season 1 funding of Dragon Tales title sequence, and the start of the episode Snow Dragons. And the closing to the Dragon Tales portion would have the last few seconds of the episode The Theories out on this one. The online bumper for Dragon Tales from season 1, the end credits, Sesame Workshop, green roof, blue house logo fully animated, and then the Columbia TriStar television logo, Kellogg's Frosted Flakes Community Center ad from 2002, and then of course the season 1 funding of Dragon Tales, and then the PBS Kids ident with Dash the Boy Thinking, and then the DVD menu.
Yeah.
Now we get into a very interesting release to talk about.
Yeah.
And that is the 2002, the fan-made Columbia TriStar DVD version of Hey Arnold, the movie, released on December 31st of 2002, which is also the same day that the Paramount version of Hey Arnold, the movie was released as well.
That's kind of interesting, because I know for a fun fact they would have just released it the same day, just as the same time as the actual release, which is kind of funny if you ask me. That's kind of like, well, I don't think it's from a different show, so I don't think we need to brag about that, but anyway.
Anyway, it would be the widescreen version.
Yeah, unlike the Nickelodeon release where it's basically in full screen.
And the the Columbia TriStar version would also include a bonus episode of Dragon Tales from Sesame Workshop right after the film.
Yeah, I think since this was put late 2002, maybe we could do it. It doesn't matter if it's season 1 or 2 episodes. If it's season 1, I don't care. I mean, I still like.
But this is the very last DVD to contain a season 1 episode of Dragon Tales before they completely switch over to episodes with digital ink and paint.
Okay, well, we did one from a November 2001 fan-made release from last part's stream, which contained. Well, yeah, this December release would have the last one to use season 1 episodes for sure.
This Hey Arnold will release right here would be the last one to use season 1 episodes entirely.
Okay, then we can get to the fun ones with season 2 episodes eventually.
And season 3 in 2005 as well.
Well, yeah, when we get past 2003 and 2004 releases, because yeah.
All right, the widescreen version of Hey Arnold movie would also include the 2 bonus Dragon Tales episodes, and they are the episodes Out with the Garbage and Lights Camera Dragons.
Yeah, and what do I think of Out with the Garbage?
Wait a minute, before you say that, just wanted to let you know, this would be the only DVD where you actually get to see the Dragon Tales episodes be in letterbox widescreen.
Wow, that's kind of rare. Usually they're in full screen, the episodes, but since this is a fan-made movie of Hey Arnold the movie, but it's just the episodes are just cropped into widescreen, because if you have this version of Magic Railroad of Thomas on Blu-ray and widescreen. Well, anyway, yeah. And that's kind of interesting. Well, anyway, yeah. Now let's get
interesting about it.
So we could have at least seen Dragon Tales episodes in widescreen, kind of like Thomas did in the 2000s. Well, anyways, yeah. Now let's get into my thoughts on the episodes Out with the Garbage and Lights Camera Dragons. Now, first, what do I think of Out with the Garbage? Meh. Just, yes, because I know it has the what do you call it, which I'm not a big fan of. Well, at least the okay part I find okay is it's the first time we see Arlo, the dragon, the dragon of the Dragon Dump.
Wasn't Zach being like a complete jerk to Wheezy at the beginning of the episode?
Oh my god, yes. That's why I didn't like Zach's behavior in that episode, kind of.
But you could call it meh, but I personally call it a Dragon Trash episode.
Well, it's called Out with the Garbage, and you call it a Dragon Trash episode because of Zach's acting like a jerk to Wheezy. And yeah, I think this is the only time I think Wheezy cries.
Actually, it's not the only time she does it. She also does it in Wheezy's Last Lap, and she does it briefly in the episode Quibbling Siblings after Zach puts the alone cone on.
Well, okay, so this will be her third time. So I guess this is her third time, even though I don't...
Actually, it's her 4th time. She cries again in Sandcastle Hassle after saying, "We blew it."
Well, that wasn't a big cry, because like I said, she just blew like this after she said the line, "We blew it," and it went, and it wasn't like it was a real cry, it was just a blew a sniffle through a pretend tissue. But like, I guess if you...
Like, it's almost as soft as Cassie.
Well, that is kind of obviously true, but I think the other ones she cried really hard like Ord did. But anyway, yeah, Out with the Garbage, then they basically find a way to get their stuff, Wheezy stuff back, but yeah. And about Lights, Camera, Dragons, well, at least it's
much better than its sister episode, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's predecessor. I say predecessor, but whatever. Anyway, yeah, about Lights, Camera, Dragons, where they're trying to film a cool movie, but Emmy's movie gets ruined when they go to have a lunch break because Ketzel's making a very special sandwich.
And basically, but before that, Max is very, very angry because Emmy did not let him have any involvement in the video at all.
Because she's basically told Max, because this is a show for dragons, Max, and you're not part of it.
And one of my favorite scenes is like, "I don't want to help you make your dragon video anymore. She never once lets me do anything I want to do." And
then, yes, of course, Ketzel agrees to let Max help him make this special sandwich. And Max says, still angry, saying, "Fine." Well, how's that line go? I haven't watched Lights, Camera, Dragons in a long time.
Well, I remember the second time he's like, anything would be better than doing nothing on any stupid video.
Did you know in some Sprout airings of some kid shows, they had to cut out the word stupid because they don't want this drawing the kids' attentions. They don't want the kids saying that word stupid. You know, like how the episode of Haunted Henry of season 5 of Thomas, I think the Sprout airing, basically, they had to change the line so Henry didn't say stupid bird. They just say silly bird because they didn't want to phrase with the word stupid.
Well,
but for some,
do you think? I think they might have cut out the way Max said "stupid" in the episode "Lights, Camera, Dragons" in the Sprout airing as well.
Well, yeah, I think they replaced the word "stupid" with "silly." I mean, well, anyways, yeah, and of course the ending portion.
Emmy gets a bit depressed at the very end of the episode after realizing that she didn't think about what her little brother Max wanted.
Well, actually, the last few seconds was kind of funny. Like, you know, when Max says, "This one's about a tickle monster." And basically, Max does the tickle monster thing to Emmy. Kind of like she did it to Max in Just for Laughs from season 2. Well, anyways, yeah, let's get to the opening and closing of this DVD. Then we can get on to other stuff.
Now, the opening to this DVD would have the Columbia TriStar Home Entertainment logo with the Tolling Bells DVD music in a lower pitch, apparently.
Huh, that's unfortunate. Well, anyway.
And then, of course, DVD, the regular Bells music in a lower pitch, and then the DVD menu, FBI warning, red warning, attention screens, the Hey Arnold Season 5 funding, and then the Frosted Flakes Beach ad Season 5 funding continued. And then the 1993 Columbia Pictures logo with the more common 1998 arrangement of the fanfare in lower pitch with Arnold taking place of the Torch Lady, plastering the Paramount and Nickelodeon movies logos, and then we go to the film.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Like, yes, you showed me the Sony Pictures DVD collection with On Clyde with Jensen Meatballs, both 1 and 2. Like, after, like, it's high pitched on the first movie, but on the second one it's normal pitch. Well, on the first one, I think that one the logo gets knocked over by a banana, but on the second one it gets knocked over by a food animal of a banana with berry. Yeah, well, yeah, back to the closing. Open closings.
The Columbia Pictures logo with the music being in a lower pitch in this film.
That'd be kind of interesting because we could finally see it with a lower pitch because we've seen it in some movies with a higher pitch.
Yeah, and then after that, we go right to the film, and then after the film's over, it goes to the end credits, and then the Paramount 90th anniversary closing logo makes a surprise appearance after the credits, as Paramount originally released it.
Well, yeah, that is true.
And then, of course, the Season 5 funding, the Fruit Loops Jungle ad, the Season 5 funding continued, and then the Columbia TriStar Television logo, and then again, it has the PBS Kids fishbowl ident, just like on Harold versus Patty.
Yeah.
And then the Dragon Tales portion would have the Frosted Flake, the Fruit Loops Jungle ad, the Season 1 funding of Dragon Tales, the title sequence, and the start of the episode Out with the Garbage. But unlike the film, the Hey Arnold film, which is an anamorphic widescreen, the Dragon Tales episodes are presented in letterbox, meaning that you can see a lot more of the black bars in those episodes.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, the closing to the Dragon Tales portion would have the last few seconds of Lights, Camera, Dragons, and then the online bumper for Dragon Tales from Season 1, the end credits, the 1997 children's television, the Sesame Workshop Green Roof Blue House logo fully animated, since this is a later release. Excuse me for a second, I might have accidentally said Children's Television Workshop semicircle by mistake, but I meant...
It's okay.
But I meant the Sesame Workshop Green Roof Blue House logo, and then the Columbia TriStar Television logo, the Frosted Flakes Community Center ad from 2002, and then the Season 1 funding of Dragon Tales. Then the PBS Kids ident with Dot the Girl running up to the screen. So this would be the only DVD release to use from 2002 to use the Dot ident after the Dragon Tales portion ends for a Hey Arnold release.
Interesting. And yeah, I know what you said about the Frosted Flakes 2002 Community Center thing. I'm not it's not the one with the kids like playing on the house, right? Or the school one from 2000.
It's not the one with the kids playing in the house. This time it's a different one. It's like the kids are playing ping pong or something in the one from 2002 that is...
Oh. Well, I think the announcer's voice is still the same, where it's basically...
It had slightly different background music.
Well, okay, yeah. But yeah, that's how it goes for the last 2002 fan-made Hey Arnold Columbia TriStar fan-made release.
Alright, now we get into the only Hey Arnold DVD release from 2003.
Only one.
So, it is a deluxe edition of Arnold's favorite stories.
Arnold's favorite stories.
January 14th of 2003.
Okay, so I think that was about a few weeks before the Dragon Tales DVD Easy as 1, 2, 3 came out on VHS and DVD.
It was also the exact same day that Sony Wonder released Sesame Street, Elmo's World Head to Toe with Elmo on VHS and DVD, along with the same day Sony Wonder released the Arthur VHS and DVD releases, Arthur's Family Fun and Arthur's Snow Day on DVD as well.
Yeah. And also just about a month before Percy's Chocolate Crunch was on VHS and DVD.
Now, this would have 10 episodes of Hey Arnold.
10?
And they would be Downtown is Fruits, Eugene's
Downtown's
Pet,
Fruits.
Kitty, Gerald's Tonsils, Grandpa's Birthday, Helga's Sleepwalks, Phoebe Takes the Fall, Arnold and Lila, Sixth Grade Girls, and Partners. Now, what's interesting is that not only does it include 2 bonus Dragon Tales episodes, which are the Season 2 episodes Back to the Storybook and Dragon Scouts, but it also includes a bonus Arthur episode called Elwood City Turns 100.
Elf City Turns 100.
Yeah, I could tell you about it since I've seen it. Basically, in Elwood City Turns 100, the gang prepares to put on a musical for Elwood City's centennial celebration, and Buster is chosen to be the director. Arthur's picked to be the narrator and stuff, and basically what happens is Francine tries to get into the school on time, but because the streets were crowded with ducks, she couldn't get into the school for the next half of the episode until near the very end of it, because the streets were crowded with ducks when Francine was in the car.
Oh my god.
And also, not only that, but there's this one scene where Buster and the Brain have an argument about whether or not the show wanted to have fantasy or have accuracy.
Interesting.
And then basically, and also in the second half of the episode, before the second half begins, there's a brief segment which has the Arthur cast being interviewed by Larry King.
Larry King.
And after that, we go to the second half of the episode and stuff, and basically, they go do the rest of the play. They sing a song about trees and stuff, and then Fern sings a song about the green-tailed grebe, and then when they find out that Buster's UFO flying saucer has been smashed to bits in the back of the garbage truck, Buster locks himself into the janitor's closet because he is very disappointed about the flying saucer getting ruined, and he is actually locked in the janitor's closet. He's actually very tearful. He's like, it was going to be the best part of the show. Now no one will ever. And then Buster hears the other kids, and then it's like, they're going on without me. And then Buster gets this crazy idea to put something silly over Buster's head and sing a parody of the song Yankee Doodle. And he's like, Dr. Rector came to Earth in a flying saucer. And then after the song ends, Buster accidentally tears down the curtains. And then when the other kids saw what Buster did, the brain is a little upset with him. He's like, "You didn't have to destroy the set." And then,
oh no!
And then Buster tearfully confesses that he ruined everything, and that he's such a failure, and that if anybody wants him, he'll be in the janitor's closet. And then the brain confesses that it was kind of his fault because the stuff he wrote about ball lightning was pretty boring.
Yeah. What season is that episode from?
It's season 7, episode 5 of Arthur.
Okay.
So basically, after Buster bursts into tears and says that he's ruined everything and called himself a failure, the rest of the show goes on even better than expected, and they sing a grand finale song called "That's Elwood City," and then Arthur and DW get back up into the car, and it's like, and then DW points out, next time they do a musical about Elwood City, you should play the alien. And then Arthur says they probably wouldn't do another one for 100 years because it was a centennial celebration. And then he's like, and then DW is like, then I guess you'll play Jacob Katz and what's his name, and you'll have a beard by then. And then Arthur corrects her, thus ending the episode. Now, What are your thoughts on the Dragon Tales episodes, Back to the Storybook and Dragon Scouts?
Well, I have to say about Back to the Storybook, it's not only the second episode where Cassie brings Finn to school, but she also brings Kiki. Like the beginning portion, like when they're at Dragonland and they play around, and Cassie says, "Finn and Kiki, you must be quiet." And I was afraid they were going to cry again, but luckily they didn't, because like I know, well, they make a worried face.
Cassie didn't cry in the episode either, so that's good.
Well, they just made their worried faces, towards the end of the episode. Well, yeah, and of course they go. This is actually the first episode they take Lorca and Kiki and Finn into Quetzal's Magic Pop-Up Book, because it's the second time they do Quetzal's Magic Pop-Up Book. Yes, they still have to say.
It's like a season 2 version of the season 1 episodes, Quetzal's Magic Pop-Up Book, but with Finn and Kiki added on.
And Lorca. Yeah, basically, like they go to this part with Jack where he's upset and he got some little like stuff to basically turn into a beanstalk because he got traded for something else, and all of the friends were worried about him. Yeah, I was scared I was going to see Kiki and Finn cry again, but luckily they didn't. They just made their worried faces. Well, like I said, I don't blame Ellen Kennedy and Kathleen Barr as the voice of Kiki and Finn. I like those ladies in real life. But yeah, and of course, when it gets to the very end, I don't even know the characters' dialogue in the episodes within that episode, honestly, but all I know is like this is the season 2 version of Quetzal's Magic Pop-Up Book in this episode. And of course, like they get to King Midas, who they changed his golden thumb to a green thumb. Not to be confused with
there is a season 2 episode of the same name called Green Thumbs, but contrary to what the title is, it's not necessarily about getting a green thumb. It's instead about a little flower trying to get back to her family named Lily.
Well, yeah, we're not sure if that's going to be included, but yeah.
It's not included on any Hey Arnold release, apparently.
Well, yeah, but I know Green Thumbs is on our Amazing Pets DVD from 2009, despite it's not about pets, but I guess a flower kind of counts. But anyway, back to my thoughts and back to the storybook and Dragon Scouts. Yeah, and also about back to the storybook, that's like that they said they had to finish right before Kiki and Finn's nap. And of course, Dragon Scouts were basically Emmy goes with Cassie to her Dragon Girls. I should say Dragon Scouts Ball. It's basically mostly girls, but you can do Boy Scouts when you're a boy. I remember Boy Scouts as a kid. Well, anyway, yeah, and this one, Cassie got a phone call saying she had to go home early, but Emmy didn't want to be left without her. And that kind of reminds me of preschool. I was kind of shy to my friends. I was really shy in preschool, and I didn't even want to talk to these guys because I didn't even know them. Well, yeah. Well, yes, of course.
Unlike in the episode The Big Sleepover, where Cassie wanted to go home early because she was scared of having to sleep over. But in this case, in Dragon Scout, she had to.
Well, yes, because her mom called saying she had to babysit for a while. Because even though, I don't know why, they just could have made their dad just do that problem. But like I said, I guess the dad was too expensive to find, or he was just too busy at work. Because that's what dads are mostly about, their families. They're sometimes busy. But yes, and yes, of course, Emmy did eventually grow from super shy to super outgoing. That's what my friend told me in high school. I went from a super shy.
The ending scene where Max and Ord get their Dragonberry muffins.
Yeah, they share with the Dragon Scouts, the Dragon Girl Scouts, as I'm going to say.
Does Zack and Wheezy appear in the episode Dragon Scouts, or are they completely absent in that episode?
Completely absent. I think another season 2 episode, they're completely absent. Which we'll get to if we can get to that episode. Well, I guess I'll tell you the name. It's Room for Change. That's the other season 2 episode they're absent in, Zack and Wheezy. It's Room for Change from season 2, but we're not sure if that's not going to be included. That's all right. I completely understand.
So anyway,
well, yeah, and of course
we're going to talk about the opening and closing. Shall we?
We got to. Well, yeah, of course. I know the final seconds where Emmy finally takes a nap because she's done pretending for the day, and Max leaves her alone and goes to nap. And let's get to the thing.
So, the opening to the CVD would have the Columbia TriStar Home Entertainment logo in a lower pitch once again, but this time with the tolling bells music.
Yeah.
And then, of course, DVD menu up. Now, one thing I wanted to point out is that although it's a 2003 release, it says 2002 for the Hey Arnold and Dragon Tales copyright stuff, and then for the Arthur stuff, it also says 2002, and then it says 2002 and 2003 layout and design Columbia TriStar Home Entertainment, because it's especially a release from January 2003, which is why that is there.
Odd, if you ask me.
Anyway, the beginning would have the Columbia TriStar Home Entertainment logo. Again, it has the tolling bells music in low tone, unlike the Hey Arnold the movie DVD, which had the regular bells music in low tone. And then the DVD menu, FBI warning, red warning, and attention screens, the season 5 funding, the Frosted Flakes beach ad, and then the season 5 funding continued. And then the title sequence, which, like before, is a very special version of the Hey Arnold intro with the seasons 1 through 3 and 4 to 5 audio mixed in together with a special title card when the Hey Arnold logo appears.
Yeah,
then
kind of interesting.
Downtown is Fruits. And the closing to the Hey Arnold portion would have the last few seconds of the episode Partners, and then the online local library bumper from 2000 to 2004, the end credits, season 5 funding, Kellogg's Fruit Loops Jungle ad, and then the season 5 funding continued. And then it would have the Columbia TriStar television logo.
Yeah.
Even though it's from 2003, it would still have the Columbia TriStar television logo, as the Sony Pictures television logo wouldn't be included on Hey Arnold DVDs till 2004.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the PBS Kids Dash Transformation ident, where Dash transforms into a caveman, scuba diver, and robot. Then we go to the Arthur portion, which has the Arthur theme, the glass-breaking noises, then the start of the episode, Elwood City turns 100, and the closing to the... Now, ironically, the screen is cropped in the Arthur portion, even though it's in full screen. It's a bit cropped.
Very odd. Well, it's kind of cool at the same time, though.
All right. As a result, some of the cast members are cut off in the credits.
Oh, bless me. Anyway.
Bless you. Anyway, the closing
Thank you.
Arthur portion would have the last few seconds of the episode Elwood City turns 100, the Arthur Online Local Library promo from 2001 to 2003, and then, of course, the end credits from season 7, and then, of course, the Arthur funding credits, the post-alphabet serial ad, which is 26 little letters that make up 1 million words to tell billions of stories, then the Chuck E. Cheese's Exercises advertisement from 2002, and it has the announcement saying, helping children discover the fun of developing their bodies and their minds. and then the Libby's Juicy Juice ad, season 6 through 8 version. Then the Arthur funding credits from season 7, and it has the Concord Grape Jelly Purple Checkerboard background. And by the way, the grants in the season 7 funding are, of course, Ready to Learn Television Cooperative Agreement, U.S. Department of Education, Public Broadcasting Service, and Corporation for Public Broadcasting, but no contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you in the season 7 funding, apparently.
Yeah.
And then of course, we go into the PBS Kids ident. Again, it is the Dash transformation variant where he transforms into a caveman, scuba diver, and robot. Which, by the way, the Dash transformation ident is also shown on television airings of the Arthur episode Elwood City Turns 100 from 2002 to 2004.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, the Dragon Tales portion would open with the Frosted Flakes Beach ad, the season 2 funding of Dragon Tales title sequence, and the start of the episode back to the storybook. And the closing to the Dragon Tales portion and the DVD overall would be the last few seconds of the episode. Dragon Scouts, the Dragon Tales Online bumper from season 2. Then the end credits in the Symphony Workshop, Purple Root and Greenhouse logo, and then the Columbia TriStar Television logo, the Frost, and then the Fruit Loops Jungle advertisement, and then the season 2 funding of Dragon Tales. And then the PBS Kids ident with Dot the girl running up to the screen.
Yeah.
Then the DVD menu.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Thing about that 2003 release.
I found interesting that they were all copyrighted 2002, but for some reason we're making this fan-made one from 2003.
Well, it says 2002 and 2003 layout and design Columbia TriStar Home Entertainment. Instead of one copyright date or the other, it says both before it says layout and design.
Yeah, actually, hang on a second. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna take care of something real quick.
All right.
All right, here I am.
Anyway, now we get into the only 2004 release of Hey Arnold. And that is Timberly Loves Arnold, which is volume 30.
Yeah.
And the release date would be July 27th of 2004.
Actually, the same day that Dragon Tales Believe in Yourself and The Wiggles Woohoo Wiggly Gremlins released on both VHS and DVD at the same time, and just about a week after the Thomas release, Thomas and the Jet Engine came out on VHS and DVD.
And 1 week before Sony Wonder released Elmo's World, The Street We Live on VHS and DVD back on August 3rd of 2004, along with those Arthur VHS releases, Arthur's Double Dare, Arthur's School of Hard Knocks, along with the DVD versions of Arthur's First Sleepover and Arthur's New Puppy.
Yeah, and also that would have been a day before your 4th birthday, if I'm correct.
Yes.
Okay.
It would also include a bonus episode of Dragon Tales from Sesame Workshop.
Yep, this is...
Yeah. This would have the episodes Timberly Loves Arnold, Eugene, Ghost Bride, Gerald versus Jamie O, A Day in the Life of a Classroom, Big Bob's Crisis, Phoebe's Little Problem, and Grandpa's Packard. Now, beginning with this release, the font is different when it mentions the Dragon Tales episodes. It looks more like something from that's like a Disney-like font, like the fairy-like font and stuff.
Yeah.
And it says, plus 2 new Dragon Tales episodes, One Big Wish, and Breaking Up is Hard to Do.
Oh, yes. We could have finally had One Big Wish on DVD. And particularly, this is another one where they play baseball other than Eggs Over Easy from season
Wiffle
1.
Ball is what it's called in One Big Wish.
Wait, did you say wiffle ball or baseball?
Wiffle ball.
Wiffle ball. Okay, it's like baseball in a way, but I think you play it differently. Well, anyways, yeah. And then Max just can't play really well, and he actually kept dropping coins into Willie or Wyatt the Wishing Well.
Willie the Wishing Well.
Well, in the later seasons, he was called Wyatt. Well, this one, he kept dropping it into Willie's fountain, and he kept growing bigger and bigger. And yes, he cries really big when after he crushes, and he goes, Emmy, I don't want to be big anymore. I want to be my small size again.
What if there was a sequel to this episode where this time Emmy has a problem and he's like, and except it's this time Emmy has problems getting bigger because she gets smaller in the sequel.
Well, what would the title be called if Emmy kept?
It would be called One Small Wish.
And then she cries while she's tiny, just like Cassie does when she gets upset, basically. And then and Emmy would say,
Max, I don't want to be small anymore. I want to be my regular size. And then Max comforts him.
yeah. Well, anyways.
Like their problems wanting to get smaller because I had problems when I was big.
Yeah, that's the portion of like having trouble, difficulties growing up. But anyway, I'm just proving a point. But yeah, and of course they make a wish to get Max back to normal size again, and they hug Max and Emmy at the end.
And what about when Ord squishes? When Ord is like, Max, you're squishing me.
He kind of made a funny laugh at that because Ord usually gives Max a big hug, but Max does the opposite to Ord. It's kind of a funny scene if you ask me. Despite Max cried like a big giant, like a really hard, when he was really big.
He actually had he actually did a soft, despite the big tears coming down.
Yeah, and of course, about breaking up is hard to do, which is on the VHS and DVD release of We Can Work It Out, one of the We Can Do This releases, where this one, yes, Ord does cry. Well, this is the first time an instance where I know some clips from this episode where basically when Max asks Ord, can I hold it? No, I have to hold it. I'm taking it home to show my mommy. I want to show my mommy and daddy too. But it's my school. And then Cassie says, when my older brothers and sisters want to play tag, we take turns.
And what about,
Well, oh, wait, what were you going to say? Say that thing first, and I'll keep doing the rest of the impressions.
What about, when Ord is like, Max stepped on my toe by accident, and it really hurts. I thought Max was my best friend in the whole world, but I guess we're not friends anymore.
I thought you were my friend too, but I guess you're not. I'm taking this home right now.
Give it back!
And a funny chase occurs, and then Ord was able to catch it, and then he was going to take it home, and then Max was, Argh! And then they fight, and they do a big fight, and then it's Wheezy, excuse me, pardon me. But anyway, yeah, Wheezy screams out, stop it. Stop it!
Yeah. And then near the end of the episode, Ord cries a second time. He's like, it's ruined! Now I have nothing to show my mommy!
Oh, brother! Why don't you just make another, what do you call it? And then they do make another, and it's also funny.
Season 2 episodes of Dragon Tales, but not as weak as Big Funky Cloud, thank goodness.
Well, at least they make up for their rivalry at the end. But yeah, it's also funny Ketsu let them come back to the school despite school was already over. Despite like me, I was going to do this. I did the same thing, but I wanted to make up for something I wanted to fix, but my school teachers wouldn't let me back into the school, and it made me really upset. Well, I didn't do that in school, so it doesn't really matter now. But anyways, yeah. Well, actually, yeah, the last bit when Max thinks he wants to get the last fruit pop or juice pop in the freezer, whatever it's called.
Juice box.
Juice box. And then Emmy calls out, Max! And then they start chasing each other at the end. Well, yeah. Now onto the opening and closing.
Now, the opening would have the 2001 Columbia TriStar Home Entertainment logo with the Tolling Bells DVD music in widescreen. But unlike the DVD of Dragon Tales Believe in Yourself, which had previews, the Hey Arnold DVD has nothing.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
To the menu, then the FBI warning, red warning and attention screens, the season 5 funding of Hey Arnold, the Frosted Flakes Beach ad, the season 5 funding continued. Title sequence in the start of the episode, Timberly loves Arnold. And the closing to the Hey Arnold portion would have the last few seconds of the episode, Grandpa's Packard, and then the online local library bumper from 2000 to 2004. And then, of course, the end credits to season 5 funding. The Fruit Loops Jungle ad, the season 5 funding continued. And then it has the 2002 Sony Pictures television logo appear for the first time with the audio in a lower pitch.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the PBS Kids Dot transformation ident, where Dot transforms into a tiger, octopus, and astronaut. And then the Dragon Tales portion would have the Frosted Flakes speech ad, the season 2 funding of Dragon Tales title sequence in the start of the episode, One Big Wish. And the closing to the Dragon Tales portion would add the last few seconds of Breaking Up Is Hard to Do, the online bumper from season 2, and then the end credits, which play once because there's only one episode.
Yeah.
And then the Sesame Workshop green house purple roof logo, and then of course the Columbia TriStar television logo, then the Fruit Loops Jungle ad, season 2 funding of Dragon Tales, and then the PBS Kids ident with Dash the Boy Thinking. Now, apparently, Justin, a YouTube user named Justin Wiggle, he told me that the episodes One Big Wish and Breaking Up Is Hard to Do did end with the Dash ident, where he was thinking something.
Oh, yeah. And yeah, I think you were also saying, what was I going to say also about this? Remember we said when we did a fan-made season 4 version of a different version of One Big Wish, where it's one small wish, where Emmy wishes she was smaller, but wouldn't Enrique would be in that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but it would have all characters, basically. But anyways, yeah, let's get to the next release. Just a little side note. Well, yeah, let's get back to
the first one from 2005, and the first one to have season 3 episodes.
Oh yes, we're getting into season 3 episodes.
So first up, we go into the best of collection, volume 1, which is the Best of Arnold.
The Best of Arnold, which would be released sometime in 2005.
March 1st, 2005.
Just about a week before Thomas's Sword Celebration came out on VHS and DVD.
And very shortly after Dragon Tales Season 3 premiered on television, believe it or not.
Yeah, basically the first episode was To Fly With a New Friend Part 1 and Part 2 as the first one of Season 3. But
you'll find out which Dragon Tales episodes would be on the DVD from Season 3.
Hopefully it's not one new Season 3 episode, but it's repeating a Season 2 episode. Well, yeah, let's get to the... Yeah. Basically March 1st, 2005 is the Best of Arnold.
So it also includes a bonus episode of Dragon Tales from Sesame Workshop, and there are 3 episodes of Hey Arnold on here, and they are Arnold's Hat, Arnold Betrays Iggy, and Arnold Visits Arnie. Plus 2 new Dragon Tales episodes, Sky Soccer and Making It Fun.
Oh yes, I mentioned Mark. Now here's a fan-made release where we can talk about these episodes. Yeah, Sky Soccer. I'll tell you my thoughts. I gotta say, well, I'm just keeping it on the time as well, because I gotta make sure we stop around 10 o'clock, because it's getting close to 10 o'clock in my area. Well, anyway, Sky Soccer, where the coach's name is a cool one. El Pie, how do you pronounce him?
El Pie.
Yeah, that's a cool name, if I might add. And he basically tells Ord, you're not allowed to use your hands in Sky Soccer. That's how you play real soccer, right? Real life. You can't use your hands, but you can use your feet. Basically, I think soccer's the only sport you can't use your hands in, if I'm not mistaken. Well, the others you can use your hands. Well, okay. And then Ord wants to try to practice to be on the Sky Soccer team. At least this one he didn't cry like when he hurt his tail in the dragon net.
But he actually got really upset. He even growled when he was like, "Why can't I get the ball into the goal? That's the hardest part of all."
Oh, and also when Quetzal says to Ord, "Are you okay, Ord?" He does actually make a worried expression in that episode. That's the same one, because and Ord says, "No, I'm fine." And then he says, "Sky Soccer is too hard. I quit." And then basically, yes, he growls Why can't I get the ball into the goal? That's the hardest part of all. And then Cassie tells him, don't give up.
If at first you don't succeed, try again. And then Emmy appears and says, if you try again, each time it's going to get better.
Yeah, and of course, he eventually tries again, but I know he was disappointed. He was not picked to be on the team. Actually, the coach told Zach and Wheezy, Cassie, and Spike to be on the team. Well, it's right, he mentioned Spike, but I don't think didn't Spike appear, but he just doesn't speak?
Probably, but I haven't watched that episode that much, but
yeah, well, I know you do. It's one of the rare season 3 episodes. Well, I've seen it a few times, but it's like one of the rare instances. But yeah, and like but at least he tries. LPA was really proud of Ord's determination. He would try to join the team another time. And yes,
Rex's voice sounds a bit different in season 3.
Well, he still sounds like himself, which is good. But yeah, now on to making it fun, not to be confused with the sing-along song from season 3.
And this is the second appearance of Eunice the Unicorn, right after the season 1 episode, A Tall Tale.
Yeah, she was never in season 2, Eunice. But I don't know why her voice is higher pitched, but she sounds more like an adult in season 1. I guess the people at Sony didn't realize she was different, because I guess have her with glasses makes her kind of young still, but she's in charge of like a marathon for the little unicorns, and I can do a few lines of dialogue where they basically say, actually, like when they do use some of Cassie and Max's old lines when basically when she says thank you, but that's supposed to be.
I noticed that Ord's voice was a bit deeper than it usually was in that episode, especially it's like, I remember that song my mom used to sing. She says it makes her work go faster.
Oh yeah, well, I'll get to singing that song in just a second, but I know there's some other lines of dialogue. What are you doing, Cassie? You were the one who said we couldn't quit. I'm not quitting. I'm just taking a little fun break. When I have to clean my room, and then Emily says, that sounds like recess at school. Yeah, and also, and Zach asks Ord, does singing really work? And Weezy tells Ord, ooh, teach me. Then we can all do it faster. Okay. Singing makes the work go by, work go by, work go by. Singing makes the work go by when you're singing.
And then Enrique sings it in a different key in Spanish.
Yeah. And Cassie asks Enrique, can you sing it, Enrique?
Yeah. And,
well, anyway, about making it fun. Of course, they get the path painted, and they think of a newer way. Instead of just painting it like in different rainbows of the color, they just do it in different patterns to color the path. Or paint it, basically. They use paint, just like I did in Staying Within the Lines, but just different. And they didn't matter what color they got, they just wanted to paint it really fast.
Not to mention, Sky Soccer and Making It Fun aired on February 24th of 2005, and not to mention the DVD was released on March 1st.
Well, technically true, yes. Well, let's get to the opening and closing. Just keep it up.
You can, you're welcome to stay until, like, it reaches 8:30 at my time, like...
Well, that as long as it's before 11 o'clock in my area, basically.
Yeah, 8:30 is at my time is 30 minutes before, so that would work.
Well, okay. We can keep going. So let's get to the opening and closing, because I know it has some of the best episodes of season 3 in my personal opinion.
But here's what appears at the beginning. Get ready for it. Despite the fact that it has season 3 episodes of Dragon Tales, it still has the Columbia TriStar Home Entertainment logo at the beginning, because the Sony Pictures Home Entertainment logo wasn't used until May 2005.
Odd, if you ask me.
And it has the regular bells music in widescreen because the tolling bells already were stopped being used at that point.
Odd, like I said. Yeah, very odd if you ask me.
And then it has the Columbia TriStar Family Fun trailer from 2004 containing Gigi the Jet Plane, the Berenstain Bears, Dragon Tales, Maggie and the Ferocious Beast, and Harold in the purple crayon.
Yeah. Yeah,
then,
that was around... Well, yeah, continue.
And then the FBI anti-piracy warning screen.
Yeah.
And then the red warning and attention screens to Hey Arnold Season 5 funding, the Frosted Flakes beach ad, and then the Season 5 funding continued, which is the later Season 5 funding at the beginning, then the title sequence and the start of the episode Arnold's Hat. And the closing to the Hey Arnold portion would have the last few seconds of the episode Arnold Visits Arnie, and then the online bumper from 2000 to 2004, the end credits, Season 5 funding, the Fruit Loops Jungle ad, and then the early Season 5 funding appears at the end. And then the Columbia TriStar television logo, and then the PBS Kids Dash transformation ident, where Dash transforms into a caveman, scuba diver, and robot. And then, of course, the Dragon Tales portion would have the Kellogg Company ad. Yes, it would still have the white background, even though the white background wasn't used in general until 2006 on Dragon Tales DVDs. Those Hey Arnold DVDs from 2005 would still have the white background, just like the DVDs.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the Kellogg's Frosted Flakes Community Center ad from 2003 that is also shown on the Let's Start a Band VHS and DVD release.
Yep.
And then the Season 3 funding of Dragon Tales, which is basically an alternate version of the Sesame Street funding from Season 36, except it has a different voiceover and it has the Ready to Learn funding club music. The announcer goes, "This program was funded in part by a Ready to Learn No Child Left Behind grant from the U.S. Department of Education through the Public Broadcasting Service, and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you." Then the title sequence in the start of the episode, Sky Soccer, and the closing would add the last few seconds of the episode, Making It Fun. Then the Season 3 online bumper with Wheezy's voiceover. Then the end credits, the Sesame Workshop purple roof and greenhouse logo. And then the Sony Pictures television logo. And then the Kellogg Company ad, the Fruit Loops Jungle ad, the Season 3 funding continued. And then the PBS Kids ident, which has Dot the girl running up to the screen. That Dot ident was also shown on the TV airings of the episode Sky Soccer and Making It Fun, believe it or not, according to the program break from 2005.
Yeah.
And then the DVD menu.
Yeah.
Unlike most DVDs released around this time in March 2005, the Hey Arnold DVD released Best of Arnold would have the Columbia TriStar Home Entertainment logo on the back cover and on the disc, in addition to being on the screen, even though most of them beginning in like February started using it just on the screen.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Now we go into the Best of Collection Volume 2, and that is called the Best of Helga, with the release date being April 19th, 2005.
Yeah, it basically came between after Thomas's Source Celebration came out on DVD and VHS, before Songs from the Station came out on DVD and VHS.
It would also include a bonus episode of Dragon Tales from Sesame Workshop. Now, it's an April 2005 release, and it has the episodes The Little Pink Book, Helga's Makeover, and April Fools. Plus, it would have the 2 new Dragon Tales episodes, well, new to DVD, but not new to VHS. Not new to VHS and DVD, but not new on television, as this is one of the 2005 releases that contains both episodes from Season 2 instead of Season 3, and that is Hide and Can't Seek and the Art of Patience.
Oh, yeah. Both, yes, we had those on DVD. Now I can talk about those. For about Hide and Can't Seek, at least Ord didn't act like a mopey, whiny baby in that episode. He just acts worried. He isn't good at playing hide and seek.
I kind of wish he was like that in the episode Sky Soccer, but I was wrong.
Well, he just acts worried. He just acts like this, and then and this is, yes, they do something with Lorca and the Doodle Fairy hide and seek game, and even like Ord when was trying to find a hiding spot, Zack and Wheezy caught him, and then he's gotta help them. And yeah, it's also funny, like, also in the episode Ord asks, can't they just play one more game before they eat? And he asks, what? And of course, before we get to the ending portion, and of course the other parts of the episode where they're trying to find their friends, and Ord thinks of a solution to actually find Max and the pumpkins. He just takes the top off each pumpkin and just puts it right where he looked before. That's like a solution to the game. And of course, the ending portion where Max thinks if Ord can find him, he can find his dinosaur socks. And of course, when he finally realizes his dinosaur socks were on him all along. That's kind of like how in Finders Keepers, Zack and Wheezy's tickets for the aquarium fair were still at their cave. But anyways, yeah. Now onto the art of patience.
This is one of the episodes where Max has trouble understanding what patience is.
Oh my god. Well, at least he tries to be helpful, but this one, yes, he ruins their work. But I don't know why his friends and his sister Emmy get upset at him, despite he really said sorry. Well, I don't know why, but I've watched The Art of Patience like so many times, and of course he says he promises to wait for everything to dry this time, and yes, of course, like Quetzal says this to Max when he asks Quetzal, un momento, Max. I don't know what that means in English. Un momento.
1 minute, Max.
Okay. Well, yeah, but he still said Max's name in Spanish. I mean, in English. Excuse me. Yeah, and of course, Wheezy sings a fun song to help Max help to keep the time passing, to stay patient.
But before that happens, Emmy says, "Max, you can't always get what you want it. Sometimes you just have to wait."
But I can't wait. I really want to get some more clay now. Singing always helps me help pass the time. Why don't you try? I don't know.
That kind of reminds me of the VeggieTales episode, Madame Blueberry, where Madame Blueberry is impatient and she just wants to get more stuff and she gets greedy.
Well, yeah, and of course Wheezy sings this song through a microphone. I'm pretty sure it's a microphone. She literally sings, "Wait, wait, wait your turn. Waiting can be fun."
Row your boat.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, and of course. And when Max and Emmy try to think where to get the color clay from Rainbow Canyon, and the Dual Fairy does an expression of crying, because she can't talk, and then they ask, a crying flower? I know, a weepy wildflower. My Abuelita has some of those in her backyard. And of course, yes, they get to the finale. Oh yeah, I like how Ord sings the version, Wait, wait, wait your turn. Waiting can be fun. Patience, 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 everyone.
What if there was a sequel to this episode where it's this time focusing on we kind of had a prequel to this episode from season 1 called Roller Coaster Dragon, which focused on being patient, but it's on Wheezy. Well, season 4 episode where Ord and Cassie are both impatient on things.
Well, that would be too hard for them to focus on two friends being impatient. One is enough. But anyway, yeah, back to the Art of Patience, where they basically finally get their sculptures ready to give to Quetzal. And they all shout out, "Feliz cumpleaños, Quetzal! Happy birthday!" And then when Ord asks, "Is it time for cake yet?" And then Max is like, "Be patient, Ord." And of course, yes, this is another season 2 episode where Max and Emmy's mom call for them at the end, where I don't know what she calls them about. Can you think you could do that line? I know you've seen The Art of Patience, right? Or if you've not.
But what if there was like a season 4 episode where Emmy and Max's mom and dad both called them at the end?
Both their mom and their dad? Well,
yeah.
But that's impossible because I think either they have to let their mom and dad take turns doing it.
But the thing is, they're invisible in the show. They're not seen, but their voices are heard.
That is true, because I know the voice actress and actor who do the voices for their calling for them towards the end.
Mom and Eli Bay does the dad.
Okay, well, I think Emmy and Max's mom called for them at the end saying, I think it's sweet rolls. So they say, Emmy, Max, I'm making sweet rolls for you. It'll be ready in 15 minutes. Sweet rolls, my favorite.
And then Emmy's like, Mom, I can't wait! And then
the episode ends.
It's one of the season 2 episodes that actually ends with season 1 styled music.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, let's get to how this DVD opens and closes.
Well, we have 20 minutes before the stream comes to an end, so...
Yeah, we may have to do a part 5, but, I mean, we're getting close.
So, we might do part 5 tomorrow if we run out of time for everything, so...
Well, yeah. We'll try... Yeah, let's get to the opening and closing really quick.
Now, the opening... This would be the first to say Sony Pictures Home Entertainment on the back cover and on the disc, but because it's released in April 2005, the Columbia TriStar Home Entertainment logo would still be shown on the screen. And then, of course, have the Columbia TriStar Family Fun trailer, just like on the Best of Arnold release.
Yep.
Then the FBI anti-piracy warning, red warning, intention screen to season 5 funding. The Frosted Flake speech ad, season 5 funding continued. The title sequence and the start of the episode, the little pink book, and the closing, the Hey Arnold portion would have the last few seconds of the episode, April Fools, and then from 2000 to 2004, the end credits, the season 5 funding, Fruit Loops jungle ad, the season 5 funding continued. Columbia TriStar television logo, and then it has the...
Can you hold on a second?
Marcus, fire. Why don't you go in the house since fireworks?
Sorry about that, Flick Lover 2000. That was my dad. That was my father. It's probably because he says to do the fact there's fireworks outside, but anyways, yeah. If we can keep going, that's fine.
After the Columbia TriStar television logo, it has the 2000 PBS Kids dot transformation ident, but it has the audio from the snow globe ident. Yeah. And this error also happened when I watched the Clifford the Big Red Nugget with a big help in the trouble with kittens back in 2003 when I watched it on PBS. That same error also occurred in there.
Yeah.
Isn't it kind of weird how they sometimes swap the audio in them?
I find that really bizarre. I wish they could just leave the audio alone, but I guess I don't know why they couldn't do it, but whatever. Oh well.
After that, the Dragon Tales portion would have the Frosted speech ad, the season 2 of Dragon Tales, the title sequence, and the start of the episode Hide and Can't Speak. And closing to the Dragon Tales portion would have the last few seconds of the episode, the Art of Patience, then the online bumper from season 2, and then the end credits, and then the Sesame Workshop, Purple Greenhouse logo, and then the Columbia TriStar television logo, and then the Fruit Loops jungle ad funding, and then of course the PBS Kids and with Dot the girl running up to screen, then the DVD menu. All right, we still have time for at least one or two more to talk about before we. So,
yeah,
this is next one, and that is the Best of Collection Volume 3, and that is called the Best of Harold, released on May 10th, 2005.
Yep, just about a week after Thomas Songs from the Station hit VHS and DVD at the same time.
And it would also include a bonus episode of Dragon Tales from Sesame Workshop, and the episodes are Downtown Fruits, Gerald Comes Over, and Gerald's Tonsils, and plus the 2 new Dragon Tales episodes, Just the Two of Us and Cowboy Max.
Oh yeah, Just the Two of Us and Cowboy Max. That one for the Just the Two of Us.
This is one of the episodes those 2 episodes were episodes that aired in 2005 during season 3, but Enrique was not in either of those episodes.
Yeah, because they're originally season 2 episodes.
Yeah, they meant to air in like 2002 or 2003 or something, but the way that they delayed it to 2005 is unknown.
Yeah, unknown. But yeah, just the 2 of us I found interesting. It's kind of like a mini thing of Under the Weather where they kept changing the weather for some reason. Well, anyway, and of course they have to help Zach and Wheezy make a cool thing. And Lorca joins them at the end. And yes, Cowboy Max, I don't have any feelings on that episode, but I'll tell you what my problem is later. But of course, yes, they ride the merry-go-round or carousel, whatever you call it in Cowboy Max. And yes, he's afraid to go onto that one pony again horse because he thinks he's gonna fall off of it again.
That kind of reminds me of when Orange said, "I'm gonna fall!" in the episode of Liking the Viking.
Well, yeah. Well, in this one, Max did fall off, but in a Liking the Viking, or didn't. Well,
I'm surprised
anyway.
Max didn't cry after he hit his head.
Well, yeah, he just landed somewhere, and then they didn't know how to heal Max. Well, anyways, yeah, and then of course Emmy tries to help out Max, and yeah. I think now actually
that episode though.
Well, I'd rather not still give it out because I still need to review that Dragon Tales TV that has that episode, and then I'll tell you my problem with the episode eventually soon. But all I'll say, yeah, sorry about the noises, just the fireworks outside. I forgot there was fireworks going on outside.
So,
anyways, yeah, let's get to how this
entertainment logo was first used on May 24th of 2005, and it's May 10th, 2 weeks before it appeared. So, this would be the last Hey Arnold release to use the Columbia TriStar Home Entertainment logo at the beginning, and then it would have the exact same family fun trailer that is used on the Best of Arnold and the Best of Helga, respectively. Then the FBI and piracy warning, red warning attention screen, season 5 funding, Frosted Flake speech ad, season 5 funding continued, title sequence, and the start of the episode Downtown is Fruit. And the closing of the Hey Arnold portion would have the last few seconds of the episode, Gerald's consoles, then the online bumper from 2004, the end credits, season 5 funding, the Fruit Loops jungle ad, the season 5 funding continue, the 2002 Sony Pictures television logo with the music in a lower pitch, and then the 2002 PBS Kids Snow Globe ident, and then where Dash ice skates in the snow globe and Dot holds the snow globe, of course. And then, of course, the Dragon Tales portion would have the Kellogg Company ad, the season, and then the Frosted Flakes Community Center ad, and then an extremely rare version of the season funding that is used exclusively on the TV airings of Just the Two of Us and Cowboy Max. It's basically the same as the regular one, except the ending is a bit different. Instead of viewers like you, it's the orange background, and it changes to Corporation for Public Broadcasting instead. As a result, the last part of the season 2 voiceover during that part.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the title sequence in the start of the episode, Just the Two of Us. And the closing of the Dragon Tales portion would have the last few seconds of the episode, Cowboy Max. 2 online bumper, the end credits, the Sesame Workshop Purple Roof Green House logo. And then the Columbia TriStar television logo. This would be the last DVD to take the Columbia TriStar television logo in the Dragon Tales portion, because Barry Martin told me that he's seen it on the TV airings of those episodes. They were originally part of season 2. Not to mention the copyright reads 2001 in the credits.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the Kellogg Company ad, the Fruit Loops jungle ad, and then the rare season 3 funding again, and then the PBS Kids ident with Dash the Boy Thinking. And Jeremy Barton told me he has seen the Dash version at the end of those Dragon Tales episodes on TV.
Yeah.
Then the DVD menu. Well, I guess we have possibly 1 or 2 more to talk about here, so...
How about one more?
Okay. And then we'll do the last 4 for tomorrow.
Okay. basically, yes, the same time we already mentioned.
Yeah. And then I was thinking,
Yeah?
during part 4, since we have only 4 more left to talk about, in the later half, we could just do a Q&A discussing on what your favorite Dragon Tales episodes are and stuff, and what your favorite Thomas episodes are and stuff, and stuff like that. So it might come tomorrow. Actually, no, it's gonna come next Friday because I have to go somewhere tomorrow.
Oh yeah, that's right. So Friday's usually the best way to do it. So yeah, let's just do a little Q&A, and we'll just call it for like the last 11 minutes.
All right. After so anyway, next we go to the Best of Phoebe, released on June 14th, 2005.
Oh, actually, just about a day after, the same day that Thomas and Friends James Learns a Lesson finally got released onto DVD.
And also the same day that Sony Wonder released Arthur DVD releases DW Rides Again, Arthur's Computer Adventure, Arthur Gets Lost, and DW The Picky Eater on DVD as well.
Yeah, they were originally on VHS.
They were originally released on VHS in like 1998 and 1999, respectively.
Well, yeah, but then they got DVD releases eventually.
Yeah.
And yeah, let's go.
Phoebe released 14th, 2005. This would also include a bonus episode of Dragon Tales from Sesame Workshop and stuff. And the episodes would be Hall Monitor, Phoebe takes the fall, and Phoebe breaks a leg. And this would have the 2 new Dragon Tales episodes. Now this is interesting because it has All That Glitters, which is a season 3 episode, and then Dragonberry Drought, which is a repeat of a season 2 episode.
Yeah, well, I guess I may as well tell you my thoughts on All That Glitters, but it's repeating Dragonberry Drought from season 2, but it was originally a season 2 episode. But let's talk about All That Glitters, where basically they take a special scale to somewhere that's cool to take a look at, but then Max had a hole in his pocket, and he basically had to figure out, he lost the scale, and he was worried that Quetzal was going to be mad at him.
But of course, Quetzal was not mad at him. In fact, he was very happy that he told the truth.
Well, yeah, of course they all tried to figure out how to get it back, but then Quetzal was understanding that they told the truth, but he was very appreciative that Max told him what happened. And of course, what's the dragon's name in All That Glitters? Because I've seen it before. Well, yeah. Well, I don't know his name, but anyway, yeah, Dragonberry Drought.
And then I'll tell you the name.
Okay, well, of course, Dragonberry Drought, where they have to figure out where all the Dragonberries are going, and they figure out Mungus the Giant, who needed them, because he needed it to make a special kind of pie for the Do-Re Knee-Birds, and then they were able to...
The animation style in Dragonberry Drought is very similar to that of Season 1, even though it's a Season 2 episode.
Yeah.
They were colored.
Yeah, that's what I noticed, too, when I watched Dragonberry Drought, because, at least Mungus the Giant didn't get upset in that episode, because he was just explaining, oh, I needed some Dragonberries so I could make a special pie for the Do-Re Knee-Birds.
And of course, that solves the answer
to the mystery.
And at least Big Funky Cloud wasn't repeated in season 3, because oh my god, if it did, then it would make me swear never to watch another episode of the show again if it repeats a bad episode.
Well, at least they didn't do that. These are the season. I already listed all the season 2 episodes they repeated in season 3. But yeah, let's get to the end opening and closing of this DVD really, really quick because it's getting to 10:30 almost.
All right. So at the beginning of this DVD, this would be the very first DVD to use the Sony Pictures Home Entertainment logo. And by the way, June 14, 2005 is actually 1 week after this Dragon Tales DVD release came out.
Oh, so that was even before my 7th birthday in 2005. But yeah, of course, yeah, let's get to the opening and closing really quick.
So anyway, it would have the 2005 Film Entertainment logo, which this would be the very first Hey Arnold DVD release to use this logo.
Yeah.
Use the regular colors and the in-sync animation. As you know, sometimes the Sony Pictures Home Entertainment logo is in sync, sometimes it's out of sync, depending on the DVD. I don't know why this happens.
Yeah, I found that odd.
And then it has absolutely no previews. It just has the anti-piracy warning, the red warning attention screen, season 5 funding, the Frosted Flakes speech ad, season 5 funding continue, the title sequence, and the start of the episode Hall Monitor. Not to be confused with the SpongeBob episode of the same name.
No.
And then, of course, the closing would have the last few seconds of the episode Phoebe breaks a leg, the online bumper from 2000 to 2002. Then the end credits and the season 5 funding, the Fruit Loops Jungle ad. The season 5 funding continued. Strange enough, the earlier one makes a surprise appearance at the end of the DVD. And then the Columbia TriStar television logo and the PBS Kids dot transformation. This time it uses the correct audio that usually plays this time. And then Dragon Tales portion would have the Kellogg Company ad, the Frosted Flakes Community Center ad from 2003, and then the season 3 funding, the title sequence, and the start of the episode, All That Glitters. And the closing to the Dragon Tales portion would have the last episode, Dragonberry Drought, the online bumper from season 3, and credits to the Workshop Purple Roof Greenhouse logo fully animated, the 2002 Sony Pictures television logo, the Kellogg Company advertisement, the Fruit Loops Jungle ad, the season 3 funding, and of course the girl run up to the screen.
Yeah. Yeah.
We go to now. Now we know for a fact that the dot ident is still more common on Hey Arnold DVDs released with Dragon Tales episodes. However, unlike the Dragon Tales DVDs that only use dot, the Hey Arnold DVDs with Dragon Tales episodes sometimes use the dash version, but the dot one is still more common.
Yeah.
All right. So, stick around for part 5. Will be on next Friday, which we get over the last 2 releases from 2005 and the 2 2006 releases.
Yeah, I know we should have ended this stream earlier because I forgot there was fireworks happening outside my area, but it's okay as long as we can do the others next week. That's all that matters. So, anyways, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go look over 2000 since it's getting kind of noisy in my area because of the fireworks. So, anyways, yep. I'll see you later.